We are? We're live? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Camden Select Board organizational meeting for Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. This is the procedures and policy procedures meeting that we typically perform when we have an open town meeting with everybody in the town, but since we didn't do that this year, we're doing this special organizational select board meeting. We have 6 items on our agenda tonight. Before we get into the first one, I'd like to welcome our 2 new select board members, Sophie Romana and Mr. Matt Siegel. Welcome, both of you. The fearsome threesome will try to stay off your backs here. But that said, great election. But the first agenda item is the fun part is to swear each of you in. Mr. Kelly, would you do the honors?
I'd be happy to. Would you like to stand, sit, go to the front?
You're going to want to keep your microphone a little closer to your.
Yep.
To here? Okay.
I think
Real
actually
close.
quite a lot closer, unfortunately.
What we could do is hold up further. Okay.
That's what they tell us.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Does that work?
It's maybe.
Okay. I'm going to do 2 things at once. Hold the microphone and speak here. So you can take the oath at the same time, but here's the trick. You have to say your name when it says I, Sophie Romana, and you have to say your name when it says I, Matt Siegel. Okay? Second thought. You ready?
I remember these vows, but it's very different.
Okay. So if you will both raise your right hand and repeat after me. I,
Sophie Romana,
I, Matt Siegel,
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
and of this state,
so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof.
so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof.
so long as I shall continue a citizen thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So help me God.
It's written.
I'm with you all the way.
It's written.
It is.
I state your name.
I, Sophie Romana,
I, Matt Siegel,
Do swear that I will faithfully discharge
do swear that I will faithfully discharge,
do swear that I will faithfully discharge,
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
the duties incumbent on me as Select Board member
the duties incumbent on me as Select Board member,
the duties incumbent on me as a Select Board member,
until June 30, 2024 for the town of Camden,
until June 30, 2024 for the town of Camden,
until June 30, 2024 for the town of Camden,
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
according to the Constitution and laws of the state.
according to the Constitution and the laws of the state.
So help me God.
So help me God
So help me God.
and my husband.
I state your name.
I, Sophie Romana,
And I, Matt Siegel,
Do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities
do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities
do swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities
all duties incumbent upon me pursuant to all charters
all duties incumbent upon me pursuing to all charters,
all duties pursuant to me upon all charters. Kind of flubbed that one, but I'll do the next one better.
ordinances, policies, and rules,
ordinances, policies, and rules,
Ordinances, policy, and rules,
and regulations of the town of Camden,
and regulations of the town of Camden,
and regulations of the town of Camden,
of which I have the right and obligation
of which I have the right and obligation
of which I have the right and obligation
to administer, interpret, and/or act upon.
to administer, interpret, and/or act upon.
to interpret, administer, and/or act upon.
Thank you. You are now sworn in. We'll have documents for you to sign momentarily.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You had it easy because you were the third one to repeat. You had the first.
What was it that Leonard Lookner said when him and John French were sworn in? He didn't know if he was being sworn in or married to John French.
I will.
I was expecting that one.
I would like to take over for the next portion of the organizational meeting, election of Select Board Chairperson and election of Select Board Vice Chairperson. I would like to nominate Bob Falciani as Select Board Chairperson and Allison McKellar as Select Board Vice Chairperson.
And
Do I have a second?
I would like to second that motion.
All in favor? Oh, first I should ask, do you accept the
Motion made and seconded. We have discussion?
motion made and seconded? Do you have a discussion?
Yeah.
Do you?
Now you make, no discussion, you make all the vote.
Okay. All in favor?
5-0. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for taking that over. Fourth item we have to address is the reappointment of the town attorney for the term of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022 pursuant to Article 4 of the town charter.
I have a question
Yes.
about the past item.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
So you mentioned that their term was going to go until June 30th of 2024? Is that how we normally do it? Because normally this happens at the annual town meeting, and that is almost, well, really would never be as late as June 30th.
I read what Katrina wrote, and she does this, and I must assume it's correct. Now, here's the good news. Until another person is elected, you continue in the office for those 12 or 8 or 7 or however many days.
Right.
I think, anyway, so there won't be a vacancy.
No, it would be more like a double up.
Nope.
Would be the issue, because somebody else might be.
Until the election, that you'd continue to serve, or these two will continue to serve until the election in 2024.
But the election in 2024 will happen before June 30th.
Correct.
Oh, that part of it.
Correct, it does.
Yeah, I don't know.
It does.
I
If that
just,
were the case, it would be like Jenna and Taylor would still be on until June 30th. I just don't think we've ever used that. That's our fiscal year, but not usually the, I mean, it's
Right.
interesting.
That's a
ask
good
Katrina.
question.
We can
Why?
amend it.
what's that?
It's either a typo or it's like we've been doing it
Well,
wrong forever.
or Katrina has a reason for it.
I
Which
did
I
not
don't
ask
know.
her at the time. I just do what I'm told. And I was told to read this, so.
Okay. Good question. Again, to item 4, which is a reappointment of town attorney. Do I have a motion?
I motion that we reappoint William Kelly as the town attorney for the term July 1st, 2021 through June 30, 2022 pursuant to Article 4 of the town charter.
There's that date again.
I don't know. Maybe we should call in Katrina to, is
It's end
Katrina
of-
really the one that provides the?
It is the fiscal year.
It's definitely the fiscal year, and it makes me kind of wonder if the proper way to do the terms is actually for the starting date of the select board to be the fiscal year, and maybe we've been possibly doing it wrong.
No, you have to
No.
be appointed, right? You have to, by charter, be sworn in, for example, within 24 hours of the election. So
Oh, then
that
that's
has to happen.
definitely in conflict with the,
Yeah, definitely. The state charter says that.
so it'll,
State charter says
so
that.
come June 30th, 2024, we would definitely be in conflict with that, because unless we're going to change when our town meeting is, or when our elections are, because those are always the second Tuesday of the.
I don't know. I'd have to ask the clerk. I don't recall past years if, how. it's
Nobody's
been
ever brought it up before.
Well, I don't recall the oath
I don't
Alice
know.
and I took last year. I don't remember what the dates were in it, but I know that every year at the town meeting, usually the night after election, the new select board is sworn in.
But then again, last year, you two were succeeding yourselves.
Yeah, but still, we had to read the same thing.
Right, I know,
Our
but,
terms, I'm sure, it's probably said
So-
June 30th, 20.
so
Not
basically,
the end of the world, but it actually could turn into an issue at some point if there were ever something controversial or
if
people were
it's,
voting on
if
things.
it's important at our next meeting, we just won't pay any attention to what Matt and Sophie say.
To be on the safe side.
Yeah.
We can certainly clarify that.
It
That's
won't
easy to
change,
do.
it won't change,
It's just a
it won't
thinking.
change after July, but we'll make sure it's official for June.
I mean, it's just something to look into for the, I'm sure you'll get an answer for us and, or
An
Katrina.
amendment is easy to make,
Yes,
right?
yes, true.
So-
We'll double check on it.
Interested in starting today than stopping, so
I agree.
we got that part.
Well, I'm not opposed, I just thought it was a curious
It's a good-
little
It's a
thing.
good
to-
technical question.
It's a good question.
We have a motion and a second for the reappointment of Bill Kelly as town attorney. Any discussion?
Nope.
Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0, thank you. And the fifth item on our agenda tonight is reappointment of the following for the ensuing year pursuant to Article 2 of the town charter. And those three are the police chief, fire chief, overseer of the poor.
I'll make a motion that we reappoint let's see, Chief Gagné, Chief Farley, and Janice?
Me.
Oh, and Audra Kaler
Oh.
as overseer of the
She
board.
just designates to Janice. She didn't.
So how are we coming with getting that language out of state statute? Did they vote on that?
What?
Where does it say overseer of the poor in our charter? There's a bill going through the legislature about getting rid of that language
Right. I
entirely.
believe the charter still says that.
Yeah, it's Article 2, Section 1.
And
Which
we are all overseer of the poor.
Sorry, Section 4.
Used to be.
Not anymore.
I was
So it-
elected overseer of the poor
Right,
yesterday.
that's a good point, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's,
Sorry, Audra, that position's already been filled.
I'll deputize you.
yeah, as overseer of the poor. Yeah, it's one of, like, part of the organizational meeting requirements in the charter. It says town manager is overseer of the poor, is one of the
Yeah, until we
appointments you
changed the
make.
charter, which was in process.
But that is one change that they've made in the draft.
But it's not official now.
No.
Okay.
No.
So we-
It says that the town manager is automatically the overseer of the poor.
Yeah.
Then why do we bother with this? Why are we doing this right now?
It's just kind of like reappointing the fire chief and the police chief and,
No, I think we actually have the power to do that or not do that. I mean, theoretically.
I don't know.
oh, yeah, sure.
That's an actual thing, but because the charter doesn't say you automatically reappoint the fire chief and the.
Well, I mean, you
police
could
chief.
choose to not appoint me as overseer of the poor if you wanted.
And again, I'm not.
Oh, no, no, I'm just saying, like, you could, yeah, with any of
It
those,
says that you're automatically the overseer of the poor, or that we have the ability to appoint you to.
you have the ability to appoint me, but it has to be the town manager.
Okay, so we get elected as select board and overseer of the poor, but we can delegate our overseer of the poor responsibilities to you.
To you.
And what exactly are those responsibilities again? Is that the?
General assistance, yep.
Oh, yes, I think I would like,
Which I then delegate to Janice, so.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we have a motion and a second to name police chief as Randy Gagné, fire chief Chris Farley, and overseer of the poor designated to be Audra Taylor. And any discussion?
Second, did we already?
Any more discussion? No? All those in favor? 5-0. Any closing comments before we adjourn, select board members? Just welcome again.
Citizen comments for items not on the agenda?
Yeah, sure can. Anybody want to make a comment? No?
I'll make a comment.
Go ahead.
For the 7 people watching, I would just like to thank the citizens of Camden for a great turnout yesterday in a vote that was just for town issues, didn't have any state, didn't have any federal issues. We had a really good attendance to the voting, and I think really good results, and I'm very appreciative of the town of Camden citizens.
Actually, 0 people watching right now, other than me. It's just, but I'm sure more people will watch later.
Later, that's later.
There's somebody right here.
Yeah,
Oh, right, no, yeah.
right. The, before we adjourn, the next meeting will be on Tuesday, June 15th at 6:30. It'll be still the same format as we had, which is the webinar
Okay.
format. And we'll be discussing that as we go forward, but right now, that's the mode we're in. And between now and then, I think, Audra, especially we have 2 new select board members, Audra, there's going to be a number of issues to discuss with them, including computers and keys and all those emails, addresses, all the details we have to get into. And in perhaps a discussion with Audra and Bill on Monday with the 2 select board members on some of the general issues of that might be bring them a little up to speed. One day at a time.
Sounds good.
Okay, with that, Mark,
I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting of the brand-new select board.
Second.
motion made and second to adjourn. All those in favor? Thank you, Juniper. We can
Thank you,
disengage now. And